Hey, I was not expecting to make another video, but the dreams are coming in all the time. And this same situation where daytime nap had one dream, came to and had a different one. Now I might be distracted making this video. Something going on right there, and there might be noise, but I'm just gonna continue. Um, the first dream started out, I saw a lot of people on a grassy field wearing aztec clothing, meaning like feathers, um, jade, jewelry, um, you know, whatever they wore, the large head garbs. And they were mostly men, not mostly, I would say it was all men. And they made two columns on either side, like on either side there's two rows of them, probably 50 men on each side, and they were outside facing towards the entrance to a concrete structure. It looked like a gray concrete structure, and some of the men were sitting, some of them were standing, but they were all cheering on people that were exiting this building. So there would be people of all ages, you know, men, women, children who would be running out of this building, and they would be cheering them on and clapping as they were doing so. And I was inside that concrete room, kind of my consciousness was projecting out there where they were, and I was inside where I was, and I was nervous. There was this really, I had this heart wrenching feeling inside me, and it was kind of an anticipation of the unknown type of a sensation. And then it was, it felt like a really long time before it was my turn to run out. But when I did, and they cheered for me as I ran through both of those columns, that's when the dream ended. And I don't know what to think of that, if we were running to our sacrifice or if it was just a sports game. I don't know. But I woke up and I became paralyzed. I had full blown sleep paralysis, and I started to sense my body trying to leave through my feet. My soul, I mean, sorry. And that sensation became very strong, and I really struggled and tried really hard to leave, but I couldn't and was shoved right back in. It's happened to me many, many times over the years. Unsuccessful OBEs. Okay. Um, that desire to exit is just that strong, I suppose. But I fell back asleep and had another very, very bizarre dream that was completely different in every way possible, where I was in the forest and it seemed like it was autumn. There was this large gothic castle, uh, house. I think it was a house, but it was like built in the form of a castle, and it was really beautiful. It was in the style, it kind of reminded me of a smaller version of the Cologne Cathedral in Germany, but gray in color. It was had these like church-like steeples. It was really ornate in the interior. Sort of also kind of reminded me of the Hearst Castle, which I visited last, few months back. Very ornate rugs and medieval style everywhere. And this person was rich, whoever owned this place. But I remember the trees being really beautiful and the leaves having, yellow and red colors and multicolors. And I'm walking around this mansion and I get a phone, and it was like a large phone, like from the 90s. And my current manager was on the line, and a bunch of other people that I know in this life. We were like in a multi-way call, and we were discussing something that I remember clearly, and it was really strange. Just hearing multiple voices like through this phone, and I'm walking around this mansion, and they're all saying the wild animals outside are not safe. We're gonna have to organize and bring them all to the basement of this house tonight. And I remember I bursted out laughing in the dream because I thought it was a joke, but it wasn't a joke. So then the sequence of events kind of sort of passed real quick, and I saw all these animals kind of hoard together and go inside this castle, sort of like a Noah's Ark, right, or whatever. And that was it. So I'm just thinking about, what could be all these, what is this all for? What is the purpose of all these dreams and experiences? And I have all these theories, I don't know, but I'd like to think that I'm in communication because something hit me when I was talking to the phone with my current boss here, because I do see a lot of people in my dreams that I do know in this current life. So I'm kind of wondering if I'm creating a sort of fiber optic cable between dimensions. I'm using that as an analogy, between various avatars that from other dimensions, and linking those avatars to this current realm for the purpose of expanding awareness and consciousness. Because just remember, each lifetime, each dimension, each reality has its own, very unique quantum oscillating harmonics, and it has its own unique signature of experiences. They have their own unique form of consciousness, ways of thinking, ways of being. If you can create a cable or a chain linking avatars together, and you can create like these little bursts of awareness, kind of like signals that penetrate the current avatar's mind, and through that penetration, uh, an inner awareness starts to grow, because now you're linked to the greater you. Now you're linked to your multi-dimensional self, as opposed to being confined to your brain, which is just a massive filter, and your body and nothing else. Now you're multiversal, right? You're gaining awareness by observing your other avatars, by dreaming your other avatars. Um, because there's always something to learn from other lives, whether it's past lives here, future lives here, other lives elsewhere. You can take pieces and signals from the past, present, future and link them here. And that way you become a greater version of yourself. However, that might be a little wishful thinking on my part. Uh, for all I know, I could be destroying consciousness. For all I know, it could be completely sinister because after my Cyclops experience, I don't know what or who I am anymore. And all I can hope is that I'm not sinister and that I'm doing, that this is happening for the purposes of good. That is my desire. That is my heart's desire. But I could be unintentionally creating something bad and I just don't know, and that really bothers me. So I don't know.